rare adventures of Biggles.
The first night on Dr. Duck's enchanted island brings as many thrills and alarms as the daylight, but they seem magnified and even more terrible in the darkness. Biggles and Algy fall for a trick and allow Donald to be kidnapped while they aren't watching over him. Trying to find their way back to the plane, Bertie and Ginger hear a clattering, strange noise through the darkness, and then they see what is making it. A grotesque creature with eyes like sticks and claws like giant pincers shuffles towards them. And then it sees them.
It's coming for us! Run, Bertie, run!
Sizzling sausages, yes. Back this way.
Cut to the left. Running into the rocks here.
More rocks to the left.
There can't be. It's the way we came.
There are, old bean. We've got a miss.
Here it comes, Bertie. We can't get away.
Behind a rock, quickly.
You two, don't try to face it.
Get back your clod at once. Leave it to me.
No, Bertie.
I've still got the axe. Give me space to use it.
Bertie!
Hallie, well, claw at me, would you? There. Between the eyes.
His other claw, watch it.
That's him I'm after, not his blooming claw. Now, there, you bally monster. And another one.
He's on you. He's going to trample right over you, Bertie.
Trample on the axe too, Germ. He's going. He's going, Ginge. I fought him off.
Don't go after him, for Pete's sake.
No fear. He's taken the axe with him. Moved before I had time to pull it out. What's happened?
It's a pool. He dived into it. He'll probably hide on the bottom until he dies.
This all gets better again. Ooh. Never going to go near one of those bally pools again.
Oh, me neither. Did he hurt you, Bertie?
As old Aunt Esmeralda used to say, I'm somewhat shook up. But otherwise, he did no lasting damage.
I'm a bit shook up myself. The sight of it was enough to give me the shakes for weeks. Let's get back to the kite, quickly.
Old Trout, you don't know how heartily we Lissies concur with that idea. We don't exactly cling to the idea of battling with prehistoric monsters.
There they are.
Hey, not more crabs.
Not on your life. Biggles and Algy this time. Or one of them. There it is again. Look, see the torch flashing ahead of us?
Reinforcements, how absolutely withered. What ho there, old sausage?
Biggles! Algy! We're through here! Caesar's ghost!
To the slime, old bean. Flat on your tummy.
They must have mistaken us for Coleman's gang.
I have a horrible feeling that we made the mistake, old sausage.
You mean...
That's Coleman's gang with the jolly old torch. I say, I'm not awfully keen on the way he's spraying lead round here. Waffle back between a couple of rocks.
God, this is a bit too thick. Those horrible darn monsters, and now this. I've had enough of this island.
Add the Lissy vote to that, old Trout. When we get back, we're going to persuade the old Biggles bird to trundle off most awfully bally smartly for home. To blazes with old Donald's scientific nonsense.
Slimy darn ground. It's impossible to hurry over it, Biggles.
I know, but we'll keep going. It must be slowing up Coleman's boys as much as us.
Where do you think they went?
In this general direction somewhere. If we keep going, we'll cut straight across the island to their kite.
I suppose you're right.
Sooner or later, they'll arrive at their aircraft, and we'll meet them there to relieve them of poor old Donald. It looks a bit easier down this way, Algy. Some sort of valley ahead.
No sign of the torch now.
No. I think the blighters have gone.
My goodness, I hope so.
Baked potatoes, old bean, so do I. Do you know I've got valley shakes?
You? Well, that'll be the day.
Yes, but I have. I saw a frog jump from the rock just now. When I caught it, it wasn't a frog at all. It was me hand. Shh. What's that now?
I don't know, but listen.
They're coming back.
If it's Coleman again, we'll have to shoot it out, Bertie. I can't stand any more of this waiting. Bertie, suppose it isn't Coleman.
Who else could it be?
It might be one of those things.
You confounded bark machine that time.
Algae! Oh, it's all right, Bertie. It's Algae and Biggles. They've really come this time.
No doubt about you, Algy, old trout. You brew a neat cup of coffee. Beautifully, bally neat.
Feeling a bit better now? Oh, beginning to feel tip-top now, thanks, Biggles. Funny, but now we're back by the kite, everything seems normal again. As if all those horrible things we saw were just part of a nightmare.
But if we only dreamt them, old sausage, what happened to my axe?
They were real enough, Ginge. And because they were real, we're going to stay here by the plane for the rest of the night.
But what about Donald, Biggles? We can't leave him in Coleman's clutches.
I don't like leaving him there, but I think it's better tactics than drifting about the island in the dark.
Coleman may kill him.
I doubt it. He's had plenty of opportunities to do so, and yet he hasn't. For some reason, he seems to want the old boy alive.
Can't see why you should want that, by Jove. Donald's a dear old trout, but he's an awful bally nuisance to have about the place.
As soon as it's light, a couple of us will hop over and see if there's any way of dragging him back. Until then, he should be reasonably safe in Coleman's hands.
I suppose you're wondering why I brought you here, Doctor.
It is always my practice to concentrate on important aspects of life and ignore trivialities. You occupy my mind very little, Coleman.
I'm a triviality, am I?
Except as a bad-mannered interfering nuisance, you have no bearing on my work.
Perhaps I look at you the same way. I don't like interference.
I am not the least concerned with what you're doing here. Bigglesworth told me what it was, and well, I can't really remember.
Bigglesworth knows why I'm here?
Yes, of course he does. He's a very clever man, Bigglesworth.
A very foolish one to show so much interest in me. However, Dr. Duck, I've decided that you can help me achieve what I want.
I'm not in the least concerned with what you want.
You will be. As far as I'm concerned, everyone on this island falls into one of two camps. They either help me or they interfere, in which case they'll be eliminated.
Eliminated?
Killed.
Oh, dear. Then Bigglesworth was right when he said you wouldn't stop at murder.
He was completely accurate.
But, my dear fellow, murder is such a foolish practice. You'll be caught by the police. Bigglesworth himself may catch you.
He and his friends will be dead.
But that will gain you nothing. The superiors at Scotland Yard know he's here. They'd arrest you as soon as you set foot in England.
We shan't be returning to England. As soon as we've found what we came for, we'll disappear. There are many countries in the world where a rich man can hide without having to answer questions.
Oh, you're a rich man, are you? I'd no idea of that.
I'll be rich when I find Black Llewellyn's treasure. That's where you come in.
Oh, of course, yes, I remember now. You believe some nonsense about pirates' treasure being hidden on the island.
It
Yes,
isn't
yes.
nonsense. I have maps and documents to prove it. Several hundred years ago, this island was on the surface as it is today. Black Llewellyn hid his treasure here, but the island submerged again. As far as I can tell, it remained under the water until now. But now it's on the surface again. And somewhere on it is the treasure. I'm here to find it.
Well, now, isn't that interesting? But, of course, it doesn't in any way concern me.
It does. That's why I invited you over to my plane tonight. Do you see this map?
Mm-hmm.
It's the sketch Llewellyn made of the island. He claimed it to be accurate. That cross marks the spot where he hid the treasure.
Yes, well, that seems quite straightforward for you, doesn't it?
It isn't, unfortunately. This island is quite a different shape and size to the island in the map.
Perhaps it isn't the same one.
I'm sure it is. The latitude and longitude reported by the first ship that sighted it were identical with the bearings given by Llewellyn. I believe it's the same island, but for some reason a different shape.
Yes, I know, but there are many reasons why the shape should be different, my dear fellow. After all, it's been lying on the bed of the ocean for hundreds of years. It's been subjected to volcanic disturbances.
You understand these things?
Oh, I'm a biologist, but I understand a little of the science of geology. It's impossible to spend a lifetime studying the life on the Earth's surface without learning something of the Earth itself.
Good. Good. That's precisely why I invited you over here.
You didn't invite me, Coleman. You kidnapped me.
Call it what you like. The result will be the same. You're going to interpret this map for me, Dr. Duck. You're going to work out exactly what's happened to the island since Black Llewellyn's day. And you're going to lead me to the place where he buried his treasure.
Dr. Duck is not interested in Coleman's treasure-seeking, so he isn't likely to help him willingly. Will Coleman ill-treat the little scientist? Can Biggles rescue him before he's forced to assist the crooks? Be sure you're listening for the next exciting chapter of the Air Adventures of Biggles.